Sure, can I have your ID, please?
No, you can't.
Excuse me.
Maybe a supervisor will be
You
better.
supervisor, you got 4 cops here. Relax.
But I'm asking you for a supervisor. Great. So I'm just letting you know. Oh, I'm letting you know because you don't know the Constitution, obviously.
No,
So
obviously I don't.
you took an oath to it, though, TIBBITTS.
Jeez.
Dude, why you gotta be such a tyrant?
You gotta be such a tyrant.
Yeah.
This is not gonna end well with you. You know that. We're in charge here, okay?
Yeah, you're gonna tell me to leave, and then
you're gonna have to give us an ID.
Do,
if you don't give us an ID, you're
not
gonna
gonna
have to
happen.
go. Then you're gonna have to go.
Not gonna happen. I'm not breaking any laws.
Yes, you're breaking their law.
That's what are you trying to say?
Dude.
Don't touch me.
What are you trying to say?
Because if you didn't have, you touched me.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to leave.
You're trying to
Just
leave.
go. Just go.
I'm trying to leave.
Because it's not good for you.
If I went in there and I was acting like an asshole,
You're wrong.
don't touch me.
Hello and welcome back to Legal Dissent, where we evaluate your constitutional rights before they're taken away. Thank you all so much for joining us, and as a quick reminder, if you enjoy our content and want to help us spread our message of government accountability, then please consider subscribing and all those other things YouTubers ask you to do, as it really does help the channel make its way in the YouTube algorithm. Today, we evaluate a video submitted in the comments of our last video. Thanks, Joe, for sharing. If any of you have videos you'd like us to review, please submit it to us in the comments via email, Facebook, or Twitter. You can find our contact information and all of the case law statutes, links to the original videos, and contact information of the law enforcement agency involved in the description below. One of our favorite auditors, Long Island Audit, is filming in a public library in Danbury, Connecticut just a few days ago. Please visit his channel and let him know that Legal Dissent sent you. I cut a ton out of this video for the sake of time, so make sure to go watch his original video to see the entire interaction. As soon as he enters the door of the library, he is approached by a private security guard.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm alright, how are you? It's not allowed here to take photos or videos, okay? You need the permission from the administration about that.
So it's not allowed to take photos or videos here?
Inside, no.
Wait, who do I need permission from?
Administration.
From administration? Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
What do you mean?
I don't think that's the case. Like, I don't think that's true.
So you're saying that I'm lying to you?
No, I'm not saying you're lying to me. I think you're just misinformed. I think you're misinformed.
Okay, my friend, I'm working here already for 6 years.
6 years you've been working here?
Yeah, so before that, it was always like that. So you need the permission from the administration to take a photo or video here inside of the library.
Okay, I still don't think that's the case.
Okay, I asked you already twice. If you will not follow these rules, then I have to ask you to leave.
Yeah, I'm not breaking any rules. See, let me explain to you what I'm doing.
Okay.
So, what I'm doing right now is I'm gathering content for a story.
Okay.
I'm gathering content for a story.
Yes.
So that's all I'm doing here, peacefully. I'm not going to make any noise.
No, I understand, but here are the people who has their private business, and you can't take a video of that.
Yeah, yeah, I can.
No, you can't. That's what I'm trying to explain you.
No, but I guess we're trying to explain to each other different things because I definitely can. Definitely can. What's your name?
My name is Nadar.
Nadar?
Yes.
Are you? Where are you from, Nadar? You have a cool accent.
Yeah, I understand, but it doesn't matter right now. So you have to stop taking the video here.
I'm not going to do that, unfortunately.
Okay,
Nadar.
I have to call to the police then.
But
Is
why
it
would?
right for you?
Why would you call the police?
Because I told you that you have to follow the rule. If you are not following, then I have to call to the cops.
I mean, you could do whatever you feel is right. I'm not going to stop you. I can't stop you, actually.
No, yeah.
But what I'm saying is that I definitely have a right to be here, and I definitely have a right to film. This is a public library, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Just making sure.
Sure. Okay.
All right. So you do. You know, it's up to you. You don't have to do that.
No, I have to do it, unfortunately.
The library does have a policy prohibiting filming or photography inside the building unless given permission by the library director. Now, the question becomes, does the library have the ability to enact and enforce this policy? Now, for some of you, this is going to be too long of an explanation, which I get. So if you want to skip ahead and just watch the interaction, I have included chapter breaks for you to conveniently move on without hearing our legal analysis of what we believe is a very important issue. First Amendment rights are almost always regulated by reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions. In the American Library Association case, the court sidestepped defining if the library was a limited public forum or a public forum by addressing the limited question of whether the library can utilize software filters that limits the potential websites a patron could visit while using the library's computers. The filters were installed to prevent patrons from accessing adult websites that might expose obscene materials to children and other visitors at the library. This limitation on someone's First Amendment right to access adult content is seen as a reasonable limitation on their rights. Now, the reasonableness of these limitations change depending on what kind of forum the location would be considered. There are 3 types of forums that government property will be categorized as. First, there are traditional public forums. Second are designated or limited public forums. And finally, non-public forums. The first category of forums are places like parks, streets, sidewalks, the steps of town hall that have been traditionally used for speech and debate. The government's restrictions on any type of speech conducted in these areas must be narrowly tailored to serve a legitimate government interest. This is a very high burden for the government to meet. Designated or limited public forums are government-owned properties that open themselves to the public for communicative activities. This would be courthouses, post offices, and I would argue that most courts would find libraries to be placed in this category as well. We will argue from this perspective that the library is considered a limited public forum, open to the public for specific and certain First Amendment activities. We're arguing from this perspective because it would be the most difficult from the auditor's point of view, and if we are able to overcome the government's argument on this side of the fence, then we will easily be able to destroy the government's argument if a court were to hold that the library is indeed a public forum. So what kind of restrictions can the government legally impose on people in limited public forums? For example, in the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, quick note here, Connecticut is in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, so this example is not necessarily authoritative, but merely a persuasive citation. Yet the majority of their conclusions are based on Supreme Court cases just applied to the library as the context. So I believe it is convincing enough to use in this case. The case is Kramer versus Bureau of Police for the town of Morristown. The court held that the public library was indeed a limited public forum that was open to the public as a place dedicated to quiet, to knowledge, and to beauty. Its very purpose is to aid in the acquisition of knowledge through reading, writing, and quiet contemplation. Thus, the exercise of oral and interactive First Amendment activities is antithetical to the nature of the library. Hence, as a limited public forum, the library is obligated only to permit the public to exercise rights that are consistent with the nature of the library and consistent with the government's intent in designating the library as a public forum. Other activities need not be tolerated. However, in contrast, time, place, or manner regulations that limit permitted First Amendment activities within a designated public forum are constitutional only if they are narrowly tailored to serve a significant governmental interest and leave open ample alternative channels for communication of information. The court then went through the various policies and rules enforced by the library and decided if they are reasonable or not. They found that a couple of rules that furthered the goal of reading and quiet were constitutional, as they required people to be using library materials and to not conduct noisy or boisterous activities while in the library. The rule that the court had to conduct a more thorough analysis on was that of Rule 9 that stated, quote, patrons whose bodily hygiene is offensive so as to constitute a nuisance to other persons shall be required to leave the building, end quote. This rule has to be narrowly tailored to serve a significant governmental interest because a very smelly person with terrible hygiene could still be quiet and simply reading a book. Therefore, the government's burden is much greater than in the previous rule. The court quickly determined that the library's interest in ensuring that all patrons can use the library to the maximum extent possible, and that it was narrowly tailored because it served a clear purpose that would otherwise unreasonably interfere with other patrons' use of the library, which is their right. The court also held that the rule left open alternative channels that the patron could explore, like taking a shower. So if this is our guide, can the auditor be trespassed for filming in the library? As a limited public forum open to the public for certain purposes, we must first explore the library's intent. According to their website, the Danbury Library is an essential city asset committed to being a welcoming destination, responsive to the varied needs of our city's diverse community, and a source of inspiration through words and ideas. Well, that sounds great, but it really doesn't specify what they're trying to accomplish. I would argue that a blanket policy that prevents you from filming while you're in a library is unconstitutional because you could be quietly reading or using the other library resources while filming, just like you could be reading, etc., while having seriously bad hygiene. Therefore, the library's policy must be narrowly tailored to serve a significant government interest. While the interest component would most likely be met by the government, blanket prohibitions are never narrowly tailored. If this policy read something like, filming is prohibited in the bathrooms, or you're not allowed to film in a way that would disrupt or interfere other patrons' use of the library, then they might have an argument. But as this policy reads, in my opinion, it is clearly unconstitutional, and the enforcement of it would indeed violate the auditor's First Amendment right to film in the public library.
How's it going, sir?
Hey, how you doing, officers?
Good. Not bad.
Can I get your names and badge numbers?
Sure, can I have your ID, please?
No, you can't.
Excuse me.
Have you not heard that before?
I've heard it plenty of times. It's just I'm surprised because, well, my name and my badge number's right here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you see it?
TIBBITTS?
Yep,
I
640.
The pen is blocking the number.
Oh.
640?
Yep.
And Dennis, 647?
So I was told that you were asked to leave.
Okay, so would you like to know...
Is that correct?
Would you like to know what I'm doing here, sir?
Were you asked to leave?
Sir, would you like to know what I'm doing
I
here?
would like to answer my question.
This is a great example of what seems to be what is systematically wrong with law enforcement today. Instead of investigating the situation, they hone in on what they believe are gotcha conditions, and they fail to examine situations holistically. Long Island Auditor is really intelligent and does a great job of not taking this bait, but remember, you never answer questions that could potentially incriminate you, and silence is always a good answer.
Sir, this is a public library.
Okay,
I see where this is going.
I want you to answer my question. Were you asked to leave?
I see where this is going.
Were you asked to leave?
I see where this is
Security
going.
asked you to leave, and did the employees ask you to leave, sir?
No.
Were you
I
asked
was
to
not.
leave?
I was not.
Would you like him to leave, sir? Okay.
So security. So let me explain just so you get a. Let me just explain really quick so you guys can understand. So what I'm doing here is a First Amendment protected activity. I'm recording. I know you don't care, sir, but listen. If you violate that in any way and interfere with that,
I'm not violating it. They asked you to leave.
Yeah, but that they can't ask me to leave. This is a public library. Can I speak to a supervisor, please?
Do you guys have an administrator here?
This is a public library. My tax dollars goes to fund this, sir.
Is there a thing?
Hey, Dennis, can I please speak to a supervisor? I would appreciate that.
Yeah, there are.
Where is that at? Can I see it?
Okay, I'll try.
Can I speak to a supervisor?
Because I do not have it right now, but
Okay. I just want to be clear. If he's violating a policy here,
Yeah, there was also a
I'm
policy. There was also a
talking
policy
about-
against black people entering in businesses. Doesn't mean it's right.
so
This is a First Amendment protected activity.
he's not allowed to be here because he's violating that.
Yes.
Oh, you guys got body cameras. Great.
He needs
It's
to
a
leave.
it's a rule because people here they are working and they have their
In public.
private
People in public have no reasonable expectation of privacy. If you are conducting private affairs on a library computer, you are making a huge mistake. That being said, the other patrons have a right to use the library's services without being disrupted. But as long as the auditor is filming in a manner that would not reasonably disrupt others, then there should be absolutely no issue here.
Maybe a supervisor will be
You
better,
supervisor, you got 4 cops here. Relax.
but I'm asking you for a
You don't need
supervisor.
one. You don't need one. You don't need one.
Okay.
Right now.
I'm engaging in a First Amendment protected activity.
Fine, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
We'll just figure it out.
I'm gathering content for a story.
Perfect.
I have freedom of press. This is public building, and I'm allowed to be here, and I'm allowed to record. Regardless of what their policy says, policy does not trump law. So unless I'm breaking the law, I can't be trespassed from a public building.
You absolutely can be trespassed from a public building.
So I encourage you to do it then, and then we'll see how it plays out. Because that's not gonna, you guys are just making a mistake. And you guys got body cameras on?
What's this thing that you're doing? What are you doing it for?
So,
Is it like a study?
well,
Are
I
you a
mean,
student?
just because you guys seem real hostile, I'm gonna explain myself ahead of time. Normally I don't explain myself,
Well, you
but
haven't explained yourself yet.
I told you I'm gathering content for a story, and I'm
For what?
engaging in a constitutionally protected activity.
For what? What is the purpose of this?
For what reason?
I'm not willing to disclose until it's published. Until it's published, I'm not going to disclose it. Yeah.
I mean, I could go up to somebody and say, listen, do you feel comfortable or uncomfortable? If they're uncomfortable, you're breaching their peace.
No, that's not true.
Oh, okay.
You can't. You can't. Yes, I do. More than you, for sure.
It's just really creepy.
More than you, for sure.
Why would you want
You can't turn a constitutionally protected activity into a crime, sir. Unfortunately, as much as you'd like to.
Even if it's not a crime, it's creepy as heck.
Making other people potentially uncomfortable or being allegedly creepy as heck is not a crime.
And I have a constitutional right to be filming here. So,
Okay.
great. So I'm just letting you know. Oh, I'm letting you know because you don't know the Constitution,
No, I
obviously.
don't.
So
Obviously, I don't. No, I
you took an oath to it, though, Tibbitts.
anything. Jeez.
Dude, why you got to be
Dude,
such a
why
tyrant?
You gotta be such a tyrant. See what I'm doing there?
Acting like a child?
Yeah. So we're doing.
Acting like a child.
We have a supervisor coming out here to appease your request.
Here's another thing. Did you get permission when you post that video of these people?
Don't need it. They're in
You don't
public.
need it?
Yeah, they're in public. Don't need it. See, you're learning something here today, man. Come on. This is what I do. The same way it's kind of shocking that you don't know the law.
Anything.
Well, you know I can post I'm going to post your face, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know that now. So, you know, yeah.
So much power in that cell phone.
Yeah, I think I could.
There is absolutely nothing that this officer can do legally to prevent someone from filming and posting the footage of himself performing his official duties as a police officer.
Spread awareness.
Yeah, so he's definitely in violation here too. So
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
this is not going to end well with you. You know that.
Okay, we'll see. We will see.
I'm telling you.
So the document that bolstered this officer's conduct was Rule 2 from the library's Customer Code of Conduct. If this Microsoft Word document uploaded to their website is all it takes for this officer to throw away the Constitution, then I am absolutely terrified of what he has done in his 24-year career.
We're in charge here, okay?
Yeah, you're going to tell me to leave, and then
You're going to have to
what
give us
you're
an
gonna
ID.
do-
If you don't give us an ID, you're
Not
going to
gonna
have to go.
happen.
Then you're going to have to go.
Not going to
downtown.
happen. I'm
just
not breaking
telling
any
you.
laws.
Yes, you're breaking their law, and they need to find out who you are. So
They're going to
when you
love.
come back.
They're going to love that you said
It's
that.
trespassing.
The library does not have the authority to create law.
Ready? I'm going to walk out of here. Am I being detained?
Yeah, you are.
I'm
Because
being-
you asked for a supervisor, and the supervisor's coming.
So wait. So you're detaining me?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Utter. You're detaining me. Now you got a new.
Cannot leave because you broke a policy here. I'm just saying, and now we need to find out
Are
who
you
you
are
are.
you law enforcement or policy enforcement?
Well, you keep saying policy. Would you like to say
You just
law?
said policy.
You can only be legally detained if an officer has reasonable, articulable suspicion that you have committed a crime, about to commit a crime, or in the act of committing a crime. Violating an unconstitutional policy and requesting a supervisor are not legal reasons to be detained. This is an illegal detainment.
If you didn't want to leave,
Okay.
then they call us. Now we're in charge, and so we're going to have to find out who you are. And if you don't want to give up the ID, well, then unfortunately you're breaking a law.
Yeah.
Because it's called,
Okay.
You know what that law is?
Listen, I don't.
Do you know what that law is? 'Cause
Why
knew all
don't
the
you
other
tell?
laws.
Why don't you tell me?
It's interfering with the duties of a police officer.
Refusing to give your ID to an officer who has illegally detained you is not a violation of this law.
It doesn't. You just detained me. This is an illegal detainment, and
It's
it
not
started.
because I need to find out who you are now.
Okay, lower your voice. We're in the library.
Just saying.
Okay, just calm down. Use your de-escalation, man. Come on, what are you doing? Just listen.
De-escalation what? You're now just...
Dude.
It's not going to end well with you. I'll be honest with you. We're just not going to walk away and you walk out of there and put all your stuff on your box. You're not doing it.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know.
Okay. So I'm detained though.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Because we have to find out who you are.
Illegal detainment started maybe 5 minutes ago. So
Well, because now I just looked at the policy.
okay. You're not policy enforcement, so you got to learn.
No, now
that.
I'm law enforcement. Now I'm
Yeah.
enforcing the law. We have to
You're
figure out
not.
who you are.
You're not. You're
Because
not.
they don't want you to come back here. And we do that
Listen,
to
man.
people all the time.
Take note that the Bradbury, Connecticut Police Department violates people's rights all the time. Barney Fife's uncle, Sergeant Dickinson, now shows up on the scene.
Are you gonna leave? Yes or no?
If I don't leave, will I be arrested?
Yes, you're trespassing.
Okay, I'm gonna leave then, because you're under threat of arrest.
That's
I'm
correct, yes.
under threat of arrest. I'm going to leave. And no, you do not. Well, don't touch me.
Hold on.
Don't touch. No, you don't. No, you don't.
We have to
I have not committed a crime.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't. Listen, man,
you're gonna go.
you're touching me,
They asked you to leave.
They asked you to leave,
and I'm
you
leaving
refused to
under
leave.
threat of arrest.
Okay, you're refusing to provide identification to us. We need
Because
to
I
identify
haven't
you,
committed
because
a
if you come
crime.
back here because they don't want you coming back here.
Sergeant,
we
I
need to
haven't
identify
committed
you.
Sergeant, I haven't committed a crime. Unless I've committed a crime, I don't have to show you ID, sir.
Did they ask you to leave? Yes or no?
You just told me
They
right
asked you to
now.
leave and you refused.
That's
I'm not. That's not. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
They said that. They asked you to leave.
This is a
and you wouldn't leave.
public. This is a public building.
That is a crime.
This is a public building.
That's great, but they asked you to leave and you wouldn't
like
leave.
Walmart. Same type
No,
of
no, no.
thing.
It's not the same thing, sir, because it's a public building. It's taxpayer funded.
And this is their building. They make the rules here.
So
They decided
are you
were
Sergeant
violating the rules.
Sergeant Dickinson? If I don't give you ID, are you going to arrest me?
Well, so we're trying to.
Because I'm gonna leave because you just gave me gave me an unlawful order that was under threat of arrest, which I'll be filing complaints.
Before. What I'm trying to figure out is what happened before. If they asked you to leave beforehand, before I talked to you, then you're actually committing a crime.
But who? Yeah, but I'm not. They didn't. I'm not saying that they asked me to leave.
So,
Okay,
hold
did
up.
you
You
ask
don't.
him to
Yeah,
leave?
you don't know that.
He asked you to
Gentleman
leave.
asked you to leave.
Okay, so all I'm asking. Listen, This
Well,
is.
what did he say
You're
when you
making
asked him to
Sergeant. Can I have a conversation with you,
Okay, he
please?
said he wouldn't
Can we
leave.
can we de-escalate and have a
We're
conversation,
trying
please?
to, yes.
All right. So what I'm doing here is I'm press, right? I'm working on a story in the public library. I'm engaging in a First Amendment protected activity, a constitutionally protected activity. I do this quite often. I know for a fact that policy does not trump the law. You can't make for example, you can't make a policy that says no fat guys allowed in the library because that would be discriminating, right?
But
So
that'd be more of a civil side of it.
exactly, and this is the civil side. You'll be violating my civil just by telling me to leave under threat of arrest. You're violating my civil rights.
Well,
We're not violating your civil rights.
I'm talking to the sergeant, and I'm talking to the sergeant, and I want to have a good. I'm talking to the sergeant, and I want to have a
Have
good.
you seen it?
Honestly, sir, it's irrelevant
Because
to
I can
me.
read this.
No, it's fine.
This is from because it is.
But policy
under the
doesn't
city-
trump law, sir. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All I'm trying to tell you, and unless I've committed a crime, you cannot get my ID, sir. So that's all I'm saying. You need reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime.
This person asked you to leave.
That's not a crime. That's
But
not
they
a
asked you to
crime.
leave
But
the
that's not a
premises.
crime.
So after that,
That's not a crime. That's not a crime, sir. Unfortunately, that's not a crime. You just.
It is a crime.
It would be
It is a crime.
it would be a crime if you told me lawfully, sir, I'm going to ask you to leave, or you're going to be arrested. And if I didn't leave, that would be a
Did
crime.
they already ask you to leave?
That doesn't constitute a crime, sir.
Yes,
It doesn't
does,
constitute a
because now you're
crime.
trespassing. Because according to this, under this, a designee.
You're welcome. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
No, I'm just reading.
No. Go ahead. And don't touch me again, man. Seriously.
Listen, we tell you not to go anywhere, you don't go nowhere. You understand?
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Do you understand that, though?
I'm telling. Do you understand
I'm
that I
telling
told
you.
you not to touch me?
Do you understand
don't
that?
Touch me.
You don't leave until we say so.
Don't touch me. Nobody's scared of you, Tibbitts.
No one's supposed to be scared of me. I'm talking over you because you keep yapping.
Okay.
You're not listening. You're here to sit
Okay.
here and preach about everything. You know the law.
I do.
You don't even know what simple trespass
I
is.
do. I do know the law. Unfortunately, more
Okay.
than you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I know the law more than you. It's very sad.
You're sad.
Okay.
Stop.
Listen.
Listen,
Come on, man. There's no.
You're going
There's.
to talk to me now, all right? You're gonna
Your
talk
officers are escalating, and they're trying
You're
to
gonna
insult me.
You're
Come
going to
on.
talk to me now, okay? I'm going to read you what this is, okay? And what their rules are. Okay? And I understand that you also feel that it's not breaking the law or things like that. That's a civil matter between you and the library. If you'd like to sue them for whatever reason, because you feel you're being discriminated, but I am going to explain this to you. The Danbury Library recognizes the right of all individuals to use its faculties and grounds. It is also recognized that at times, decisions must be made in order to secure the protection, health, and comfort of the general library population. Therefore, and under certain circumstances, the library administration or designee, the gentleman right there, with the assistance or advice of the law enforcement authorities as necessary, may make decisions to remove or exclude individuals with or without warning who interrupt normal library operations by behaving in a disruptive or inappropriate manner towards customers or staff. This is not the first time we've done this.
So,
if you are
no, but sir,
videotaping somebody on,
I'll let you finish.
You are now disrupting.
No,
the
sir.
peace.
You can't turn a constitutionally constitutionally protected activity. So you seem like a
No, I'm
you know
trying
you
to-
seem
I'm
you
trying
seem
to
like a
work.
good
I'm
guy.
trying to
You're trying to work with me, but I'm letting you know that this is what I do, sir. This is what I do. I've been to plenty of libraries. I've been to plenty of post offices, plenty of public. You're. Can I please speak to the sergeant? Please, I'm talking to the sergeant.
One more minute.
So, like I said, sir, I'm engaging in a constitutionally protected activity. So that's not committing a crime. Exactly, that's the exact opposite. Because I'm exercising my rights that the Constitution gave me. I'm not disturbing anything, sir.
Okay. So you had your side. Okay.
If you give me a lawful order, I will comply.
The gentleman already asked you to leave. Okay, I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. We have to identify you because after that, if you continue to come in here, then we would have to.
They're going to officially trespass you. They need your ID to give you a letter to officially trespass you from the city.
What I'm asking.
Okay.
So what I'm asking at this point.
Yeah.
You may leave with a verbal warning. You may leave with a verbal warning. We do need to identify you, and that's the end of it.
I've spoken about this before at length. An ID is not required in order to trespass someone. This goes on for a while, and eventually the auditor does give his identification to avoid being arrested. A lot of people were upset with him for not standing his ground, but I will never fault someone for choosing to not go to jail. You can definitely fight these types of incidents in a courtroom without going to jail needlessly.
Great.
Have a nice day.
Get out.
Where's my trespass? Where's my trespass warning?
I'll send it to you in the mail. Take care.
Take care, Officer Bozo.
You gotta go. Get off the property. You can absolutely film the outside of the building from a public street if you want. Watch yourself, dude.
You didn't have that badge and you touched me? If you didn't have that badge and you touched me?
What is that? What are you trying to say?
Dude.
Don't touch me.
What are you trying to say?
Because if you didn't have, you touched me.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to leave.
You're trying to leave.
Just go.
I'm trying to leave.
Because it's not good for you.
It's not good for me. It's not good for you.
Get lost.
I'm going.
Go.
I'm going.
Bye.
I'm going.
Yeah,
going.
because you lose your temper,
I'm
you
going.
start threatening officers.
I'm not threatening. You're a douchebag.
Just go.
You're a
I'm a
douchebag. Yup. Is that against the law? I'm going. I'm going off the property right now.
So because it's public, there's no laws or rules in anywhere? You can just do whatever you want?
No, that's not true.
So they have a law that says what you're doing was wrong,
They have
so they
a
would like you to leave.
policy. They have a policy.
So they would like you to leave, and that's what we did.
No, but the law protects me to do what I do. You understand?
No.
It's a constitutionally protected
Put that
activity.
on your YouTube feed because
It's
you're
constitutionally protected
You're
activity.
wrong.
If I went in there and I was acting like an asshole,
You're wrong.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Hey, I want to file a complaint against him, Sergeant.
All right, thanks,
He just
Sergeant.
grabbed my arm. Sergeant, he just grabbed my arm. I want to file a complaint. Sergeant.
These officers and their sergeant have failed. They have violated Long Island Auditor's rights completely and displayed no redeeming qualities for me to discuss. Long Island has already filed the complaints as he promised, and the city of Danbury released this press release on June 11th, the day after this incident occurred. The chief of police, Patrick Ridenhour, states that he has significant concerns about the manner in which the incident was handled by the responding officers and supervisor. As such, he has ordered an immediate investigation by their IA division and that they will take appropriate action based on the findings of that investigation. We'll reserve judgment for the chief of police until after the appropriate action comes to light, but we are thankful that he seems to be acknowledging that there was wrongdoing on behalf of the officers, and he is not faulting the auditor for exercising his rights. What do you all think? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time right here on Legal Dissent.